I want you to know something. The older you get, the more consciousness that you bring to your life, the less need you have to be perfect. And it's really struck a chord with me because I was having a conversation just today about feeling so free and authentically me, which from my understanding and everything that I've researched, women that I've spoken with, is something that comes when you are no longer afraid of yourself, no longer afraid of being seen for who you truly are. Now, this is no easy feat. If you have experienced, and let's face it, most of us have cultural conditioning that you need to present in a certain way. You know, I know for myself, being Italian, I don't see many other Italian European women who have let their hair go grey, and I have got some amazing silvers going on here. And the amount of pushback that I got from my family, in particular my mum, when I first started to grow my hair out, was, get your hair covered up. You know, I can't look at you like that. I had other members of my family who would just look at my hair every now and then look back at me and then look back at my hair without saying anything. They didn't need to. And it took a lot of conviction in myself to be able to stay steady and not feel vulnerable, which brings me to this concept of unapologetically being you. A lot of people will say that perimenopause is like being pregnant with your future version of yourself. Now, I can't say for true or not. I've never carried a pregnancy to full term. However, I can tell you from experience that the symptoms that you may go through your perimenopausal, menopausal years can be likened to a real reckoning of sorts. There will be elements of yourself that may come into question. Things that you may want to change about yourself, yet through your associations may find it really challenging to do. Now, there is this saying that, don't tell me who you are, tell me who you hang around with, and I'll tell you who you are. If you've ever heard that before, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I remember it being said to me that way. And I wanted to bring up to you 3 key things that I have found that have helped me to become incredibly unapologetic in showing up as I am. And this dropping the need to be perfect. Because haven't you just had enough of trying to show up as how everybody else wants you to be? Surely there must come a time in life where you can just be you. And even if you aren't conscious of that right now, maybe even me saying that to you, there's this idea is birthed inside of yourself of like, what would that be like? What would it be like to say no when I really didn't want to do something, and say yes without feeling guilty or shameful, and have what you want and be who you want? So the key 3 things that I want to share with you today about becoming unapologetic is to choose who you associate yourself with. Now, your friendships, your family even, may have what you think is your best intention at heart. Let me share something with you. Most people really care about themselves. And they can say they care about you. However, let this land for a moment. Most people don't want you to change, because you changing means that their relationship with you will change, and they may no longer get from you what they want. I've had a group of beautiful European women share with me that they wanted to change their eating programs, with the way they were eating, but yet when they were together, they would always eat sweets and cakes and sugary things, and some women didn't want to eat that way anymore. But yet I got this sense that if one of them changed, then she would be made fun of or would no longer be accepted into that group, that social group. I've experienced that before myself. Maybe you've got friends that whenever you speak to them, they just dump all their problems onto you straight away. Or you leave talking to someone in particular feeling really drained and you've overgiven yourself. Darling, right now, I'm giving you permission to give yourself permission to Trust yourself and say no. Draw a line in the sand. This is where you start to assert your boundaries. It may come that you need to reconcile with the part of you that feels guilty or shameful for saying to this particular friend group or this particular friends, I'm busy, I can't come out with you today. And these are things that I can help you with as we progress. However, by me just showing up and talking to you like this, I'm giving you permission to just be yourself. If there are particular dietary requirements that you need in order to regain control of your health, and your friends group is stifling you from doing that or ridiculing you from wanting to, babe, you deserve more. It doesn't mean that you no longer care about these people or no longer see them, but you see them on your terms. Maybe you don't go to their house where you know you're going to be served certain foods. Maybe you have them over to your house and you serve the food that you want to eat. Or you don't go out to eat with them anymore. You eat at home and then meet them after for drinks. There's lots of ways that you can go around this, but it comes with giving yourself permission to put yourself first, because I'll tell you something, nobody else will. Everybody's looking out for themselves. And so it's time for you to look out for yourself too, especially if you're going through this birth canal of perimenopause, menopause transition, because you've got a finite amount of resources available to you right now. No doubt your energy level feels probably a little drained. Maybe you're experiencing some mental fatigue, some brain fog. This is all part and parcel of you understanding what you need. And food and environment is a huge, huge element in you regaining these healthy boundaries for yourself. We can go later into more conversations about gut health, leaky gut, how that can affect your internal processing system, because if you aren't able to excrete toxins from your body and they're stuck in you because you're unable to go to the bathroom, because you're eating certain foods that don't contain enough fiber and you can't poo, that shit is literally leaking back into your body and affecting your energy levels and affecting your brain health. That has got to do a lot with boundaries. So your internal boundaries, what you're eating, and also your external boundaries. How much energy are you pouring out into others? Are you always people pleasing? Are you always just going along with the flow, not to be a disruptor? Yeah. At some point, you will need to reconcile with this. And when I say reconcile, I mean really bring your awareness to it. Recognize, oh, I'm doing that thing again. I'm saying yes when I really mean no. And in that moment of awareness, of awakening, of like, oh, wow, I can see that pattern of behavior, you have the opportunity to choose. And I hope, my beautiful sister, I hope that you choose you. And if you need help with choosing you, reach out, connect with me. I'll happily talk to you about some processes that you can use. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to continue going along with the third step of becoming unapologetic. And the next step is authenticity and the freedom that it gives you. I touched on this earlier in the intro. Now, reconciling with traumas and triggers. No doubt, if you're applying your awareness and your consciousness to menopause, which is why I created the Conscious Menopause Academy, so that you transition through this rite of passage from this way of being in the world where you were premenopausal and the way that estrogen was moving through your body and the dominance that has for you and the way that you live on an approximate 28-day cycle and the fluctuations that happen in there, to becoming chemically a different person on the other side of menopause, where your hormonal makeup is changed. You're chemically a different person. So your likes and dislikes, the things you're willing to tolerate are changing. Your tastes are changing. Your willingness to chase pleasure or allow pleasure to come to you. You become, I guess in a sense, when you're more authentic to who you really are, you attract more of what is in alignment with you, and there's no longer this chasing. You're not living in an ideal that you may have created for yourself of being a professional businesswoman or being a certain type of friend, always being there for your friend regardless of what, or this idea of giving more of yourself because therefore you're a better person. Whatever it is that you have realized, as I said to you earlier, about choosing yourself, choosing you first, and whatever energy comes up for you with that will be a clue into how you can become more authentic. Okay? When you start to really see patterns of behavior that you have used to keep you safe, because what we're really talking about as you transition through menopause into postmenopause and all of the symptomatic relationship that you may have is understanding your nervous system. I want you to know that moving through this phase of life is designed to squeeze you. Yeah, it's designed to squeeze you in a way that you are encouraged to look at what is no longer supporting you. Maybe you've always thought and been raised to believe that working hard means that you are more worthy of respect or worthy of taking a break, yeah? Or of putting the needs of your family first makes you a better mother. Putting the needs of your friends first makes you a better friend. And that persona is now affecting your health, and you can no longer keep it up. By understanding where you picked up that programming or that ideal and allowing yourself to see it for what it is, a part of you who is no longer here in your present phase, and how to make peace with who you are becoming. Because that to me is what authenticity is. Being truthful to who you are now, not who you were last year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years ago, but who you are right now. In the series of videos that I am now starting to do, I'm showing up that way to you. I don't have it all right. I've come from leading a beautiful meditation and yoga school, highly respected in my community, and had a complete breakdown through the pandemic and through my menopause transition. Then my husband got cancer and then started to recover from his recovery and my nervous system being wired and thinking I was better and then not, and all of these things. The more that we can show up authentically with each other, the more safety we create for each other. But it comes from feeling safe inside ourselves first. So reconciling with past triggers and traumas and seeing them for what they are, asking for help, knowing that you can't do it all on your own. And there's no need to. There's no need to do it all on your own. You know, someone recently reminded me not to share too much of myself because others could use it against me down the track. Reminded me of the cultural programming of my Sicilian heritage, where you don't tell people how you're really feeling. You keep up this persona that everything's okay. But what that does, you're actually creating a distrust with yourself, because your nervous system, the involuntary part of your whole electrical makeup from your brain to every single organ, every single limb in your body, hears you. And if you're not okay and you're always saying you're okay, or if you're really stretched really thin and then you always take on board more and more, you are enabling yourself to further perpetuate self-distrust. You don't trust yourself to take care of yourself. When you can say to yourself, I'm tired and I need rest, or you say no to others' demands on your time so you can say yes to what you really need, and feel whatever comes up for you. It might be guilt, it might be embarrassment, you might feel weak for needing more time, or for asking for help might make you feel weak. If that's landing for you, I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not alone. Cultivating community, as I said in the first section, about being really mindful of who you give your attention to, and the friends group that you're part of, the culture that you're part of. If you have always felt that you've needed to keep up a particular persona, and if you're no longer able to keep up that persona, who others will judge you then my friend, you're in the wrong group of friends. Okay? And if it's your family, I want you to know that you get to choose who you bring into your close-knit. Even if they're your blood relatives, learning how to have a really healthy boundary around them. What do I mean by boundaries? You may be invited to a party and you don't want to go. It doesn't feel right for you. Yeah? And by you saying no, you may feel guilt, embarrassment. You might feel like you're being selfish. Recognizing those feelings and caring for yourself and still not going and doing something that you love is a healthy boundary. Knowing that you may want to stay off sugar, or maybe you might want to stay off alcohol, yet your friends are big drinkers, or they love eating cakes and cookies and things like that. You may choose to say yes to yourself and not see them for a little while. These are creating healthy boundaries, and supporting them will take time. But my friend, you can do this. I'm an advocate for you, and I'm standing here before you as someone who has done it. All right, let me get to the third point. The third point is unashamedly caring for yourself. Caring for your own needs. Can you see how all of these steps are all interchanged? Yeah? Recognizing who's around you. How do you feel around them? Recognizing when you are being inauthentic to your own needs. And then the next step is unashamedly caring for yourself. This does come with a decision to do so. You know, it may take you, oh gosh, earlier today, I literally went outside, found some sand, drew a line in the sand, declared what it was that I was finished with and what I was stepping over the threshold to, and stepped over that line as a metaphoric symbol to the universe that I was prepared to go the extra mile for what I wanted and what I believed in. And it's working for me. Not everything we do moving forward from here may align with the past versions of you. So on some level, there is a surrendering over, or a death of your ego, of who you thought you were, in order for you to become a clearer, truer, more present, calmer, more relaxed, more accessible to pleasure, happier version of yourself. Unashamedly caring for your needs is how you can fill up your cup. Learning how to say no to others' needs on your time so you can say yes to you. Being really truthful and authentic with what those needs are. Feeling that you have got the capacity and the strength to actually follow through and give them to yourself. And then doing so unashamedly, loving it, consciously carving out the time and protecting it, is how you transition into the most wonderful time of your life, where you are no longer pretending to be a past version of yourself, where you are free, internally, mentally, emotionally free. I'm speaking to you as someone who feels that. It's why I show up here. I show up with a idea of what I want to share, and then I'm surrendering what I think I should look like or what I think I should sound like to just speak my truth, what's coming through me. So I hope that this transmission from me to you gives you some inspiration about living consciously. And in the coming up video, I'll talk to you about nesting and how important it is at this time seasonally to be really aware of what you are bringing into the cocoon of winter. I'll share that with you in another video. For now, I want you to think about becoming unapologetically you and what it would take for you to do that. I see you, I'm feeling you, and I wish you all the very best. Talk to you soon. Bye.